Hey guys, this is THubFish1 back again with another video. This time, episode 8 of series 1 of Malcom in the Middle. This time, Krelboyne Picnic. This one for me, I'll get into the episode. Let's talk about it first. Malcom is organized to go on Krelboyne Picnic with the rest of his class, his special class, as they show their talents to their parents. So everyone in their family has to go. Lois ensures that everyone in the family goes, including Francis, who is back. Obviously Malcom, you can see in this picture, he doesn't want to go. He thinks that this is the lowest of the low for him, and everyone else is sort of unsure as well, or just really lowly thinking of the picnic. Except for Lois. She's thinking that's gonna be alright, and she's the most enthusiastic one as in the whole family. Reece in this episode, well, he is gonna kill Malcom for making him go to this, so he gets a bit aggressive in this episode, and it shows off a bit of his character too. Okay, now when they go to the picnic, Francis falls for another girl, and they have this sort of one-day relationship at the picnic. Lois and Hal, especially Lois, meets up with the other families of the other kids who are all sort of there's one leader of the group, and she isn't what you'd call she isn't very nice, just to put it simply. She's quite opposing and polar opposite of Lois. They kind of clash, and they have very strong personalities, and she's the one that's leading all the others, and Lois doesn't like that she's the leader, and she completely wants to disintegrate what power she has. To describe this woman, I could say she would be just very power hungry and vain to the others. That's what we're going to see develop. Francis and the other girl, as Malcom sees him, he's just trying to get away from his military life and get a bit of social life in there. Malcom meets up with Stevie Carnarvon, and Stevie Carnarvon is preparing for his practice, and Malcom is not really wanting to do his own performance, as all the kids do. We'll reveal what that is later. But before that, I have to say that Reece is sort of polar opposites with the hating. He's mentioned it before, and it's the first time we get to see it, that how he hates all the Krelboynes, and like most people, he thinks they're really abnormal, weird, and they don't fit in, and he wants to beat them up, and he thinks that he's serving good by doing this, which I disagree. So he goes on, and there's one big guy, which is the brother of one of the people in Malcom's class, who gets his revenge in the end of the episode. Francis asks Hal, is it alright in his relationship, and he's just like, okay. Hal wants to get real meat, and ends up getting all the other dads there, and the fathers, to get some real meat instead of the crappy old vegetarian stuff that they have there, because everyone is very picky and very special in this class, and they have to get treated completely different to everyone else. And it shows that they can fit in with the rest, and how their parents are more normal than the kids. So, back to what we were talking about with Francis and the girl. So they end up getting into a bit of conflict in the relationship, where they just don't like each other anymore. Well, in a way that they're sort of going really fast, and it's not working out properly. So they sort of go into different directions, and get back together in the end of the episode, sort of. What else do we see? We see that Lois and the woman, Lois tries to get Anna succeeds in getting her to be exposed to others, and how they find complaints in this woman who they've been following for a long time. As it seems, she's been sort of this leader for a while, and they've all fit into their roles as their lower class forms to her, and I guess everyone else sees it really clearly, and they have to figure it out themselves that they should not be sheep and her be the shepherd. I mean, that's not probably the best one to say, but back to Malcom. Malcom ends up getting to do his speech. Caroline, who's really sad that everything's gone wrong in a funny moment. Lots of funny stuff happens, really, because he doesn't want to do anything, and Malcom ends up doing something really stupid and like blowing up loads of gas leak. Anyway, he does end up doing it, and he shows his genius to everyone else, and the family sort of realize it for the first time. It's so funny how the family react, especially to the parents. Hal and Lois, great reactions, and Caroline in her memorable clown costume thing with her makeup on, a full-blown Caroline in her personality for everyone to see. We get the moment where everyone is like cheering him on, and then we get back to Reece, who ends up getting destroyed by the other kids, who all feel sort of empowered by this big bully sort of guy who is stronger than Reece and gets to beat him up, and everyone else is all cheery. And Caroline gets back to her cheery old happy self, and she's all motivated by everything there. Lois gets to stand up to other people. So that was to the episode. They all get back in the car, and we get the best moment of the episode, where they're all together, the family, Francis, Reece, Dewey, Malcom, Lois, and Hal, and they all get to enjoy a little family moment in the car, and head off into the nighttime, going to a restaurant. They can all have fun, have a great night. Yep, that was it. You can see Francis there, girlfriend. So this episode was episode 8. A good break from the usual other stuff. Not the usual stuff. Everything seemed different, but this one was a good sort of a good part that didn't act too much into a story, and they went out to a picnic. So it was all sort of like a little holiday in a nice location, which brightened up a lot of stuff. I mean, we've got some cool sets. It shows how much work they put in. They got a lot of good sets here, as I must point out. The girlfriend she was kind of one-dimensional, but of course she served a purpose in the story, and that's all that really mattered, I guess. Wasn't much there. Caroline, not really going to comment on her here. It's not much to go on, but there you go. That's Caroline. Good. Yeah, enjoyable and hilarious. Everything else, a lot of funny jokes. I mean, there's a few jokes in here, as usual. You're going to judge this one basically on a story or a dialogue level, character development. You're not really going to want to go back to this story ever again, or not going to be a priority of the episode you want to watch or revisit. So, not on my top list. Definitely, probably not. But for a break from the other from the main characters, just in their normal lives, and we get to see something different for once, and a lot of other characters getting involved in the main character stories. So it's not fully developed towards the main characters, and when it's at its best, but it's a sort of a lower type of story. Thank you guys for watching TV Official 1, and this has been a pretty good episode, but not one to rewatch too soon. Good night.